Dozens of homes evacuated as a fire starts near the mouth of Ogden Canyon. What's made this fire so difficult to fight?
Plus, how a $1 million investment is making a difference for the students who need it most. Fox 13 News at 9 starts in 60 seconds.
All this week on Good Day Utah. What goes on behind the scenes at the 47th busiest airport in the world, from state-of-the-art luggage screening
The bags are moved through that system very quickly.
to interesting on-site operations
The majority of these lanes are 20 foot wide to 1,000 feet long or more.
and the dedicated staff making it all work.
Within 4 minutes, we got to be there knocking that fire down.
Fox 13 shows you what you don't see when you fly. All this week starting at 6 a.m. on Good Day Utah. After a nearly 2-year investigation by Fox 13's Adam Herbets,
You've been dishonest in our previous interviews.
a polygamist-run Utah charter school spending millions of taxpayer dollars on family-owned businesses is put on probation, and the entire school board fired.
You're talking to the right people and you're asking so many good questions.
Ask questions. Keep asking questions.
Important reporting, stories that matter, and real results. Fox 13 investigates. Weeknights at 9, only on Fox 13 News.
Residents rushed to safety as a wildfire burned close to a neighborhood.
Shocked, for sure. We've gone a hot summer without any fires around this area.
What's made all the difference for crews as they battle this fire?
Tracking record highs here across the state today. I'll let you know how long this heat wave will last. Plus, when we could see some rain returning to the region.
An LDS temple damaged by fire over the summer.
I guess vandalize something that means so much to so many other people.
Tonight, why federal investigators now say the fire was arson.
These students are our most vulnerable.
$1 million is making all the difference in one Utah school district. The priceless opportunities being given to a group of teens.
And we owe a lot to one creature that calls Utah's wilderness home.
This is a whole family that was caught in the same location.
After a mudslide wiped them out. The special mission to bring beavers back to the Uintas.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
Hot temperatures, afternoon winds, and a spark. During this September heat wave, it's a recipe for wildfire. Tonight, the Valley Fire burning in Ogden is coming under control after starting this afternoon.
Fox 13 News anchor Brian Schnee joins us live from Ogden tonight. Brian, what's the situation right now?
Bob and Kelly, good evening. A lot has changed here in the last few hours. In addition to the sun going down, the Rainbow Fire, due to its proximity to Rainbow Gardens, was renamed to the Valley Fire due to its proximity to Valley Drive, which is still closed right behind me. About 9 acres in size is this fire. Called about 30% contained tonight. And those evacuations for about 24 homes, well, they were lifted right here at 9 o'clock, so everyone's able to go home. But while the acreage of this fire is small, this fire also brought along its own set of challenges for fire crews who had to battle not only flames, but extremely hot temperatures.
It's a little nerve-wracking, for sure. You never know what's to come.
There's no way to get out of the heat. You're next to the heat, you're in the heat with the sun, and it's just challenging.
Fire crews and onlookers both battling triple-digit temperatures and flames on Tuesday afternoon.
It's been a relatively mild fire season for us here in Ogden City, but things are still dry.
A fire sparking in some dry vegetation as afternoon temps continued to soar.
Shocked, for sure. We've gone a hot summer without any fires around this area, and here's our first one at the end of summer.
Tyson works at Rainbow Gardens nearby. He says that he saw the fire rip over the hillside towards the business.
We got those roof sprinklers on, closed up shop, as normal, and got everyone out as they told us to evacuate.
It is moving fast up the hillside.
While the acreage remained small, the flames were moving close to neighborhoods, which prompted the evacuations of roughly 25 homes. Fire crews on the ground working to keep the fire away from those homes while getting some assistance from the sky. Fire crews will remain on scene to provide some of that structure protection, but also hoping to achieve some containment overnight. And the big thing here is while Valley Drive is still closed, the cause of this fire is still under investigation. So an investigator will come back out tomorrow to try to determine that cause. We're live in Ogden tonight. Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And how fortunate we are that the wind is not blowing, Allison.
That's right. So we will have some breezy conditions late in the week with our next cold front that's going to move through. But today was our hottest September day ever in Salt Lake City. We made it to 105 for a high. It was our 33rd time this year in the triple digits, our new monthly high temperature record. And across the board, we had very hot temperatures today. It was 104 in Ogden, 99 for Provo, 100 in Delta, 111 in St. George, 99 for the Cache Valley. And we also had the national low temperature today, so we were all over the place. Today at Peter Sinks, 29 degrees this morning, so definitely cool up in the mountains. We'll continue with heat advisories for the Wasatch Front and for the West Desert as we head into tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon. Same thing for South Central Utah. Heat warnings remain in place for Lake Powell and Washington County. Hour by hour forecast tonight, 80s for much of the state. Into the overnight hours, 60s and 70s with another extremely hot day ahead of us tomorrow. Temperatures into the mid 80s by 10 a.m. Hazy conditions tomorrow for your Wednesday with temperatures again close to 105. We'll talk more about the timing of our next cool down coming up.
Now to a breaking news update. Salt Lake police say the suspect, who they believe fatally shot a man outside the Salt Palace on Saturday afternoon, is now in custody. Officers say 18-year-old Nunu Koog turned himself in at police headquarters today. Investigators allege he shot and killed a 41-year-old Delaford Knight after Knight defrauded two of Koog's friends through a playing card scam. It happened while the SneakerCon convention was going on inside the Salt Palace. Koog is now facing murder and aggravated robbery charges. We will keep you updated as we learn more about this.
Federal investigators now offering a large reward to help catch the person who they believe set fire to an LDS temple which was under construction.
That fire caused thousands of dollars in damage. Church members and neighbors tell Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser tonight they're confident someone will be brought to justice.
Construction continues day by day on the Orem Temple. And neighbors look forward to when they can finally see the finished product.
Every day it seems like there's something new getting put up or added, you know, you can really see the progress flying by.
But progress came to a short halt back in July when a fire on the third floor caused thousands in damage.
For a lot of people, that's a pretty important place, right? For me as well. So I just think about it and I wish that, you know, stuff like that wouldn't happen, of course.
Government agencies released this video of a suspect leaving the scene. The feds believe that July 25th fire was arson, and they're offering a $5,000 reward for information.
It of course saddens me knowing that people are out there wanting to, I guess, vandalize something that means so much to so many other people.
Targeted crime is unfortunately nothing new to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Last year, several churches in St. George were also set on fire. This summer, 14 chapels across Washington County and 6 in Sandy and Draper were vandalized.
Just places of worship in general should all be kept safe, I think. Everyone has a right to be there and have a right to have their places of worship be kept safe.
For the Orem Temple, foam was used to extinguish the fire to avoid water damage, but investigators say smoke caused the most harm. Even with the minor setback, members refuse to let this crime discourage them.
I think it's like the biggest beacon of hope in the world, the temple. So I think, of course, not going to stop, and it's still going to go up, and it's still going to be a super big light for the community.
Construction is set to wrap up in 2023. If you know anything about this fire, you can anonymously call 888-ATF-TIPS or the Orem Police Department at 801-229-7070. Reporting in Orem, Emily Tenser, Fox 13 News, Utah.
A Vernal middle school student now accused of making threats and then bringing an airsoft gun to school modified to look like a real gun.
The Uinta School District says another student saw the weapon this morning and reported it to the office. During the investigation, other students reported that person had warned them not to come to school today. The district says the student was taken off campus and the incident remains under investigation.
A man is accused of breaking into a home in Morgan on multiple occasions and inappropriately touching a 7-year-old girl. Late last month, a deputy found the homeowner fighting with the suspect, Garrett Brent Henstra Bills, after apparently finding him under the girl's bed. Now, the suspect and the family do not know each other. Bills is facing charges related to burglary and sexual abuse of a child. Hundreds of students experiencing homelessness in one school district are finding new hope.
They're not an outcast, and they're not looked upon as different.
How 5 new teen centers are giving high schoolers the tools they need to succeed.
When they're not in the system, the other animals in the area aren't able to thrive.
Beavers are finally returning to an area of the high Uintas after a flood killed the population several years ago. We'll show you the reintroduction and explain why the beavers are so vital to that ecosystem.
The latest college football rankings are out. There's a big top 25 matchup this Saturday between Baylor and BYU. We'll look forward to that game.
A search is underway in southern Utah for a man who is missing in Bryce Canyon National Park. The Garfield County Sheriff's Office says William Bill Thorpe was last seen getting off the park shuttle at Bryce Point last Thursday at about 3 p.m. Thorpe is about 80 years old and was wearing a turquoise shirt, khaki or light-colored pants, a dark belt, and a tan hat. If you have seen him or know where he is, call the Garfield County Sheriff's Office or the National Park Service Glen Canyon Dispatch.
Well, the Salt Lake County Health Department has begun its rollout of the new COVID-19 booster shot. This one targets the 2 dominant Omicron subvariants. The health department says there is a lot of demand already. Fox 13 News spoke with one woman who got the shot today.
You know, it's an easy thing to do to help keep everyone safe and help keep things open so that we can continue to have, go to church, go, get together parties with our friends, go to restaurants, all of that kind of thing that we want to do.
If you would like to make an appointment, go to saltlakehealth.org.
Some Utah biologists are trying to help the environment by reintroducing beavers in an area still struggling from a massive mudslide from more than 10 years ago.
Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph was there today as the beavers arrived at their new home in a remote area of the Uintas.
High up in the peaceful Uinta Mountains, among streams and trees, is the almost perfect picture of natural harmony. But this particular area isn't quite working the way it should. A mudslide in the early 2010s tore a path through this mountainside, and with it, it took the native beaver population that helped the area thrive. But today, that changes.
We're removing them from an area where they're causing problems, putting them in an area where we want them to utilize them as a tool to restore.
Biologists from Utah State University, Hill Air Force Base, and the Department of Wildlife Resources have come together to reintroduce these beauties back to the area.
2 adults that were trapped in different locations, but there's a male and a female. And then this is a whole family that was caught in the same location.
The 7 beavers were caught in Cache County, but today they will find their new home in the Uintas.
They're really what we call a keystone species that when they're not in the system, the other animals in the area aren't able to thrive.
To start, they were taken off the truck and loaded up on 4-wheelers. A mile up, the team loaded them by hand on the slippery terrain.
Heat and stress are really bad for beavers.
Stress. They can have issues.
Along the path, you could see the scars on the landscape, even over a decade later.
Just right off the side, this direction, it came off the top there.
Like this is the result of the mudslide, or when the beavers were here in the past before the mudslide event that blew them all out.
While you might not know it, beavers do more than just build dams. They help the surrounding trees grow by keeping them in check. They revitalize the landscape, and they even help prevent forest fires.
These greener stretches along the stream, that's actually more fire resistant.
But before the big moment, there was lots of work to be done.
Extending it, right? It's going somewhere.
Building the beavers' starter dams. The team made sure they were ready to move into their new home.
I kind of hoped that they would come back on their own, but when they didn't, this year we decided to give this a try.
And after hours of hard work,
one more right here.
It was finally time. The first 2 beavers took to their home swimmingly. And as for the family, Mom, Dad, and 2 kids felt right at home and were already eager to get to work. Which is good because it will now be their job to make sure all of this stays beautiful and as healthy as it can for generations of beavers to come.
We just try to stay quiet and calm.
Spencer Joseph.
And let them settle into the new area.
Fox 13 News, Utah.
Oh, they're in the nice cool water.
Beautiful day
plus.
for building a dam.
Yeah.
You know?
A beautiful day up in the Uintas.
Yes.
Well, it's much cooler.
Much cooler.
Today was our hottest September ever here in Salt Lake City.
How
made
hot
it
did
to
it get?
105 today, made it to 104 up in Ogden. We had a fire that broke out up there, and we'll continue tomorrow with very hot temperatures thanks to this heat wave. But I do have some good news for you in the forecast. We will see some improvement as we head into the second half of the week. As we head into this weekend, temperatures will still be hot. Absolutely, no question about it, but they'll be more manageable than what we're seeing today. Right now, 90 still here in Salt Lake City, 80 for Provo, 92 for Ogden. 101 currently in St. George. We've got this area of high pressure just sitting right over us, and we've got some changes on the way. So Thursday, we're going to have the chance for some rain across the mountains of Utah. And we also have a cold front that's approaching. That'll likely arrive probably Friday morning, which will help keep those temperatures a little more manageable by Friday afternoon. Yes, it'll still be hot. It'll be close to 90 degrees, but it's going to be about 15 to 20 degrees cooler for many of you as we head into this upcoming weekend compared to our peak temperatures that we're seeing early in the week this week. So Friday afternoon, chances for rain continue across southwest Utah. Better chances for more precipitation to be a bit more widespread as we head into the early part of next week. This is partially because of what is currently Hurricane K. We could see some tropical remnants of that along with a system moving in from the Pacific Northwest. So we've got a whole lot happening in the 7-day forecast after a forecast over the last couple of weeks that's been pretty stagnant as far as just very hot temperatures and fairly dry conditions. Salt Lake City will drop into the 70s after midnight tonight. For tomorrow, our best chance for thunderstorms will be south of I-70 and then out towards the west desert. We'll have some strong storms possible off to our north tomorrow, but we mainly just see that chance for some isolated areas of rain showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, but we'll continue with some better chances for storms in the second half of our 7-day forecast. Overnight temps here across the state around 65 to 75 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon, close to 100 to 105 for the Wasatch Front. St. George 105 tomorrow as well. Now, come Thursday into Friday, our wind's also going to ramp up associated with that cold front that's going to help keep our temperatures down a little bit. So by Thursday at 7 p.m., we'll have the wind around 15 to 20 miles per hour, some stronger wind up towards Bear Lake and up into Wyoming. Our chance of precipitation in St. George is pretty consistent throughout your 7-day forecast. Isolated storm chances, best chance on Saturday, but it's not that fantastic of a chance. It's just widely scattered. For Ogden, your chance of precipitation over the next week is also pretty low, but you'll see better chances Monday night, Tuesday night next week. So we'll get some stuff going. For Provo, same thing, better chances for storms into early next week. St. George near 105 Wednesday, Thursday, near 90 on Saturday, 95 on Sunday. For the Wasatch Front, we'll cool down as well, close to 90 degrees heading into this upcoming weekend. Mid-80s by next Tuesday. The chances for storms will break down our chance for rain here in Salt Lake coming up.
Thanks, Allison. Straight ahead, the son of Lori Vallow Daybell has been arrested. What authorities are revealing about what led up to his arrest.
And the little leaguer from Utah that's captured the hearts of so many people got a special visitor in the hospital. We'll explain who when we return.
Lori Vallow Daybell's son is accused of sex crimes in Arizona. 26-year-old Colby Ryan was arrested on Saturday on 2 counts of domestic violence sexual assault. Court documents indicate he was watching TV with the alleged victim when they became romantic, but the alleged victim didn't want to have sexual contact. Post Miranda, police say Ryan admitted to assaulting the woman even after she told him to stop multiple times. He's being held on $10,000 bail.
Easton Oliverson, the Little Leaguer from Santa Clara, Utah, who was injured right before the Little League World Series last month, got a special visitor in the hospital. Will Hardy, the brand new head coach of the Utah Jazz, took time to visit Easton at Primary Children's Hospital. Easton's family says they are grateful that Hardy helped Easton feel loved and motivated him to keep moving forward in his recovery.
These students are our most vulnerable.
A $1 million investment brings new teen centers to the Davis School District.
It's a first of its kind, and it's made in Utah. How a few minutes on Instagram may help you save someone you love.
One local organization is helping lower-income families stay cool during Utah's latest heat wave.
The Utes are down but not out. Still plenty to play for the Utes after losing their season opener to Florida. We'll hear from the team after today's practice.
It's a first of its kind. The Suicide Prevention Coalition, called Live On Utah, has created a training course entirely on Instagram.
Fox 13 News anchor Max Roth shows us how they did it.
This announcement was made on the Silicon Slopes in Lehigh because the tech wizards there helped the state put together a training course meant to save lives in a simple but profound way.
In January 2022, I was on my way to my daughter's basketball game.
Joe Tuiana tells the story of the day he stumbled onto a stranger preparing to end his life.
On the afternoon of January 29th, I was able to help a stranger who was going through a suicide crisis. For what seemed like forever, I sat there cradling this young man in my arms. And we cried together. All I could muster through my tears was, "I love you, bro."
He texts, "I love you, bro," to the man every Friday, and they sometimes get together. Joe's story is part of the Live On playbook announced today.
We are launching the world's first ever suicide prevention training delivered entirely through Instagram. We found that most Instagram users are between ages 18 and sort of 55, which is actually mirroring our highest risk age group for suicide.
It's a state public-private initiative meant to change an upsetting fact.
Utah does struggle. We've ranked historically in the top 10 states for suicide deaths.
Joe saved one life in a dramatic, unlikely moment, but most of us will never know if we saved a life.
You don't need to be at the site of a suicide attempt to save a life. Most of the time, saving a life looks like being present with the people you care about.
Joe is featured in course number 1, presented today. A new one drops each day for 10 days. Then they'll be available permanently to make talking and helping easier.
This program, Suicide Prevention Playbook, will make uncomfortable conversations comfortable conversations, and that's the point.
Each training video is a few minutes long with suggested activities afterwards. If you complete them all and then direct message the Live On account, they'll give you a digital certificate as a Live On ambassador. Go to Fox 13 now and we'll get you to the right place in order to do all of that. In studio, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
If you or a loved one are struggling with mental health, remember there is a brand new hotline available to you. It's completely free. Just call 988 any time of day for free support. Getting homework done, also balancing extracurricular activities. It is really hard for so many high schoolers, and for students experiencing homelessness, graduation can seem like an impossible feat.
Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Breeze shows us how one Utah school district is helping every student succeed.
This is humbling. These students are our most vulnerable.
This school year, the Davis School District opened 5 new teen resource centers.
If a young person can come to school and get a shower, if a young person can come to school and launder their clothing, have food essentials met, to get their homework done, have a caring adult engage with them, they will stay in school.
Providing dozens of students every day with hygiene essentials and one-on-one counseling. In her 33 years in education, Jody Lunt says this is the best project she's ever been a part of.
We decided to make this systemic. We decided to create a force of equality, of allowing all students to have equitable access to the needs across the school district.
Lunt says more than 1,300 students experience homelessness in the Davis School District. 300 of those kids are high schoolers.
It's so easy for teens to get discouraged and say, what's the use? I can't make it. I don't have a support system. I don't have the things I need. My clothes are dirty. I'll be an outcast. I'm hungry. I don't have a place to sleep.
The Larry H. Miller and Gail Miller Family Foundation and the Huntsman Foundation donated a joint $1 million to construct the teen centers at Northridge, Layton, Woods Cross, Mountain High, and the Renaissance Academy.
Poverty is something I can identify with.
We see this as an investment, not a donation.
This donation pushing the district's work to the state level, creating a public-private partnership that led to legislative funding to build more teen centers throughout Utah.
You look at these children and it's no fault of their own, and if they can get an education and have an opportunity to finish high school and go to a trade school or a college, university, then they're given some options, and every child deserves to have a second chance.
3 more teen centers will open next school year at Syracuse, Bountiful, and Viewmont High Schools. In Farmington, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Today, Governor Cox committed to 3 goals related to Medicaid, which he says will reduce health care spending in the state. He made the announcement during a ceremony at the state capitol with the Utah Health Collaborative. The 3 goals include behavioral and physical care integration, prevention of chronic disease, and implementing value-based payments.
These activities will make an impact on the lives of some Utahns, but no one solution will solve the problem.
The governor believes Utah can become the leader in cost-effective, innovative health care and strengthen the state's economic competitiveness.
The fight is on between Utah State and Weber State Universities during the annual blood drive battle. It's sponsored by the American Red Cross of Utah. The goal is to collect 1,000 units of blood between both schools. The Red Cross says the number of people who signed up for appointments was up this year. That's a great sign. Utah State has won the blood battle for the last 4 years, and of course, they hope to win it again.
Normally, this blood battle is during the first week of school, which has always been a scramble. This year, I feel like we have all of these good elements supporting us so that we can win.
Yes, win-win for everyone. To participate in the blood drive, individuals must be 17 years or older, also in good health, without having donated blood in the last 56 days. You can schedule an appointment by going to redcrossblood.org.
Coming up, how a high school in Harriman is making sure students who are building a new life for themselves here in Utah feel right at home.
And one of the most popular haunted houses in Utah is getting some big praise tonight. The honor bestowed upon Fear Factory. Next, that's one of your favorites, right, Allison?
I did it. I've been there. I really like it. And, you know, it's hard to think about Halloween when it's still 90 here in Salt Lake City at 9:30 at night. Coming up, we'll let you know how hot we'll get tomorrow, plus the timing of a cool down.
At Harriman High School, refugee students are being welcomed into the community. The school has seen a growing number of refugees. Many of them experience significant language barriers. But students and school administration are dedicated to making the new students feel right at home. Today, the school unveiled a hall of flags honoring the home countries of Harriman High students.
I truly think it's a celebration. Harriman High is not afraid of the change. We're actually invigorated by it.
It's homecoming this week, and Principal Kornberg says they want it to be a big welcome home for all the students.
All right, the verdict is in, and Salt Lake's very own Fear Factory has been declared one of the top haunted houses in the country for 2022. It's a good one. The ranking was certified by the Haunted Attraction Association, which bases its decision on safety and other best practices. Fox 13 News spoke with Fear Factory's general manager today. He says it's an honor to be recognized.
We're really proud of that. I think, anytime that there's a list, and we certainly have some really great haunted houses here in Salt Lake City and in Utah in general. But for us to be the only one on the list, we're really proud of that.
Yeah, they should be. Terry says the recognition is a great way to award those haunted housing that are doing the best things, the best practices, right? All those haunted houses. Now, on a consumer note, the National Retail Association says spending on Halloween-related items reached $10.4 billion in sales last year.
Kids are just darn hot. Teachers, it's hard to teach.
Summer vacation is over, but the summer temperatures have stuck around. We'll show you how they're keeping some students out of school.
This week's college football rankings are out. I'll tell you where the Utes and Cougars landed in week 2 and where their opponents are ranked, as well as I look forward to the matchup BYU against Baylor and Utah after a tough practice.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Fox 13 News at 9. Hopefully everyone coming off a very nice Labor Day holiday weekend.
Hope your air conditioning is working.
Oh, man. I certainly hope so.
Allison just got hers fixed. Yeah, Allison, hers was on the fritz for a while. And that was a long 36 hours for her.
I bet. It is so hot. Still, even tonight, we have more heat in the forecast. Allison will tell you all about it coming up in just a few minutes. But first, all Utahns, of course, we're all trying to keep our homes cool. And also, I think, trying to do it in a way that's really not going to break the bank.
Break the bank,
AC
yeah.
is expensive.
That's right. Fox 13 News reporter Chris Arnold spoke with a nonprofit about 2 programs to help lower-income families not only keep their AC running, but also help foot the bill.
Swamp coolers, they're great for the dry heat, but they don't work very well when it's really hot outside. I'm lucky if I get it down under 80.
Jackie Drury is a single mother of 2 who lives in the Glendale neighborhood.
Being a single parent, you kind of live paycheck to paycheck.
Which doesn't come easy when the heat outside bumps up the cost to keep her house cool.
Those bills just get really high when you're trying to make decisions about, for example, having to pay, mortgage or rent.
In the summertime, depending on what kind of cooling system they're using, it can range anywhere from an added $100 to $250.
Drury's taking advantage of the utility assistance programs offered by Utah Community Action, a local nonprofit. Angela Vega, the weatherization program manager for Utah Community Action, says they offer the Home Energy Assistance Target Program, also known as HEAT, which is federally funded through the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program.
Our HEAT program helps them pay for their utility expenses, which, a lot of times is a majority of the income that they have in the household.
To be eligible to utilize the program, Vegas says you have to have a total household income at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. That goes up to 200%, Vegas says, if their clients take part in Utah Community Action's weatherization program, which helps make homes more energy efficient.
All of our materials can do a full crisis or weatherization job. We have everything from furnace equipment and air conditioning units.
Programs, Vegas says, are available to clients they serve in 5 different counties. In all, Vegas says they've had 120 crisis calls in the past 6 months, some dealing with people who've been having trouble with their air conditioning.
Heat stroke is a very serious illness that people can experience, especially in these high temperatures and without adequate cooling in the house.
For those like Drury, she says she's excited to see her bills drop with the help of these utility assistance programs.
They estimate my bill will go down about 30 to 35%.
And Drury added without this kind of help, her family would have had to make some harder choices and sacrifices. For more information on the HEAT program and the weatherization program, we have a link posted to that on our website, fox13now.com. In the Glendale neighborhood, Chris Arnold, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Tomorrow, it will be 7 days in a row that the Box Elder School District will be on a minimum schedule because of the extreme heat.
District Superintendent Steve Carlson says out of about 19 schools within the district, Only 4 of them have air conditioning. And while the district hopes to get air conditioning in schools in the future, for now, parents can do their part by sending students to school with water bottles, reminding them to stay hydrated, and making sure they dress in lighter clothing.
These are your children. If you don't feel like, especially if they have a health condition, keep them home for a couple days, and we'll do everything we can to get them caught up. We'll let them make all the work up, and so it's really important that they know that we'll work with them.
Yeah, it's great to see they're so understanding. Box Elder School District says they are planning on returning to their full-day schedule on Thursday of this week, but are open to making adjustments next week if the temperatures stay high.
I'll tell you what, this is so odd, Alice.
Yes.
We are going this far into the school year with temperatures in the triple digits.
This is unprecedented. Seriously, this is the hottest it's ever been here in the month of September here in Utah. Now, we are going to continue with some heat tomorrow. So right now, even getting ready for bed, it's 90 in Salt Lake, 92 for Ogden, 80 currently in Provo, a bit more comfortable into Utah County. At 10 o'clock tonight, we're looking at about 75 to 85 for much of the Wasatch Front. And by the time that you wake up tomorrow morning, 65 to 75. And this is what's part of the problem is we have the extremely hot afternoons, and close to 75 to 80 really isn't enough to help cool down the home during the overnight hours, or the school in that case. And tomorrow is going to be just as hot for Salt Lake, 105, Ogden, 100 degrees for a forecast tomorrow. Same thing for Provo as we look into central and southwest Utah. Cedar City 95, Richfield 99, St. George 105 tomorrow, and for eastern Utah 104 for Moab, 99 for Price, and 98 in Vernal. Moab, this is their busiest month down there, so they told us a few weeks ago. So we've got a lot of heat in the forecast for maybe people who aren't quite acclimated to the extreme heat. Plus, we've got a hurricane that we're talking about. Hurricane K right now, just 260 miles southwest of the southern tip of the Baja California area. This will continue moving to the north, and it will bring a moisture surge into Southern California. And then into the early part of next week, with this remnants of this post-tropical system, we're going to have a system dipping in from the north as well, and that's going to help allow us to bring in some of this monsoonal moisture, or excuse me, some of this tropical moisture into the region into the early part of next week. So we look at our rain projection, tons of rain into Mexico. Here across the Intermountain West, we'll get some of that precipitation as well. Likely less than half of an inch of rain for much of the state through the next 7 days. St. George, you're on 105 for Wednesday and Thursday, 98 by Friday, with more clouds this weekend. And then we're going to see those temperatures much more comfortable for you on Saturday. So take advantage of that 87 on Saturday. For us here in Salt Lake tomorrow, 105, 98 on Thursday. So we'll also see a break from the extreme heat as we head into Friday and Saturday. Main weather headlines, though, the hot temperatures continue over the next couple of days. Air quality is unhealthy for sensitive groups, and our UV index will be very high through Thursday and then high Friday and Saturday. We look at Sunday, 91 degrees in Salt Lake. By Monday here in Salt Lake City, 88. And our temperature outlook for week 2. So after the 7-day forecast, days 8 to 14, the 14th of September through the 20th of September keeps us above average for temperatures here across Utah. So yes, we will cool down early next week, have the chance for some thunderstorms, and then we'll probably see those temperatures popping back up into the 90s or close to it by the middle to end of next week.
Well, as expected, there's been a shakeup in the college football rankings after a full week of the season, with some teams moving up and others moving down. Alabama remains number 1 in the AP Top 25 after beating Utah State. Georgia moved up a spot to 2nd after beating Oregon. 9th-ranked Baylor will play at BYU on Saturday. Florida moves into the Top 25 to 12th after beating the Utes. Utah fell 6 spots to 13th, and the Cougars are up 4 spots to 21 after beating South Florida. Boy, the Cougars looked great last week in their 50-21 win, but they know Baylor is a different matchup. They played a tough, physical game last year in Waco with the Bears pulling out a 38-24 win. Baylor went on to win the Big 12 championship, so this Saturday's game in Provo will give the Cougars a chance to see where they're at 1 year before joining the Big 12 Conference.
I'm just excited to play them. I think it's a team that I've been really looking forward to. Obviously, this offseason. Kind of just been preparing myself both physically and mentally for it. I think we have a lot to prove going against a good defensive line.
I think Baylor is a really good team, and we're a really good team also. So it'll be fun, to play against them, and we definitely respect Baylor and the program that they have over there. But it'll be a fun game to be able to go out there and play against them.
Well, the Utes went through a physical practice today as they move on from Florida and get ready to play Southern Utah this Saturday. Here's Fox 13's Andrea Urban.
The Utes are back to work today, correcting those mistakes that they saw against Florida, mostly on the defensive side of the ball. They call it Bloody Tuesday. Now, what is Bloody Tuesday? I'll let the guys tell you.
Bloody Tuesday is just, one of those days of the week where we try to simulate it the most like the game. Try to make it just super violent, super crazy. It's the longest of the week in terms of practice length, and it's a grinder because we got some live periods in there. It's Bloody Tuesday.
Bloody Tuesday has been the moniker of this practice forever. Coach Witt makes certain that everybody feels it, from the warm-up, from the time that we come out and running wind sprints, to the live tackling sessions, to the repeated long special teams, to the extended periods. Oh yeah, you feel it. You feel exactly what Bloody Tuesday feels like. And after you walk off the field, and if you've committed yourself to this practice day, you feel good. But it takes this level of work and grinding in order to get the results that you want on Saturday.
Utah's home opener is this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. against Southern Utah. With the Utes, Andrea Urban, Fox 13 Sports.
I hope Wednesday's Recovery Wednesday.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Spa Day Wednesday. Some little
Spa day. That sounds pretty brutal,
You don't see the Utes at the spa day. You never know. Cucumbers on the rise.
I've been, and I know you've been in that practice facility and the whole cafeteria. It's kind of like a spa.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It really is.
Very plush.
Beautiful.
They're getting ready for the home opener.
Time to get a win.
Fun to be back at Rice Eccles. Thanks, Jeff.
We'll be right back. Thanks for being part of Fox 13 News at 9.
Yeah, everyone, if you can, stick around for 5 more minutes because Quick Cast is next.